I'll do a little bit what I know on it. So about ETs and other humans. First of all, in this galaxy, we're all humanoid. There's no 8-legged spaghetti monster octopus type beings that are intelligent. That are at the level of gods in this galaxy. In this galaxy, the model is bipolar. In this galaxy, we're bipolar. That's true too. Bipedal, mirror-imaged humanoids. We look a little different. NASA now has, quote, admitted, and if they are, that there's literally billions of planets in, quote, the sweet spot, the golden zone, that can support life. 20 years ago there was like, no, there's hardly any planets at all that could ever support life. Now NASA itself, which is not a straight answer ever, NASA, NASA, not a straight answer, as Richard Hoagland calls it, admitted now, yes, there's billions of planets in the habitable zone, as the Earth is, meaning not too hot, not too cold, not has an atmosphere, and that life seems to propagate itself with something called Panspermia, which it basically is that the DNA goes from the center of the galaxy all over the galaxy. So there are many, many, many different races, and at least 57 of those. Clifford Stone, if you want to Google some of this stuff, he used to work for the government. He's really got a beautiful heart too, and that's why he's come out and told all this stuff. He used to be one of the contact persons that would actually meet when ETs would ETs. So they're not ETs, they're the human family. They're human like us. The little gray guys with the big eyes are an aberration. They're an exception. They are actually part of us. I was told this 25 years ago when they started coming into my bedroom. I said, I don't like this energy. It feels creepy. What is it? And I was shown this by God. I was allowed to read the Akashic records. By the way, feel this, everybody. You, as being a human being, a potential God seed, you have the right and the ability to read the Akashic record. Ask and it shall be given. There's nothing that will be withheld from you, as you're able to handle it. Just like raising kids. You don't give 3-year-olds a flame torch and go out for dinner. But you have the ability to get quiet and go, God, show me how this works. What is this? And you'll get impressions and little still small voice and intuition. And part of the growing back into who you really are is you're going to have to get your own hookup. We all have our own hookup. But to remember it, get our own information, get our own ahas, get our own authority. The word author is gold, and it comes from the deepest part of your throat. Author. You're your own authorship. So I was shown that the little gray guys are actually a part of humanity that begins right now. This is the inception point. This is when we first start doing the Human Genome Project in this timeline here on Earth, where we can mess with the DNA and genetics and all that. And they go off because they decide, I was showing this back then, they decide that, well, there's a war that happens. There's a nuclear war that happens in one of the timelines on Earth where we really do destroy a lot of the Earth. And so the people that survived, a lot of them decided, well, emotions are bad because they cause wars like this. They cause irrationality. It's kind of like the Spock syndrome. Emotions are irrational and only cause conflict. Therefore, we will not be feeling emotions anymore. They actually get rid of their emotions, and they get rid of sexuality because romance tends to cause fights. Romance tends to cause emotions, and this also causes eruptions and murder. This is not a good thing. I'm acting it out so you really get it. So the humans that survived, some of them, that nuclear war, they survived with high tech. They go down a timeline of cloning and getting rid of their emotions and sexuality. They go down a timeline they learn how to operate in the 4th dimension, which is time travel. They have super high tech, but they don't have any emotions and no sexuality left. Their cloning eventually reaches a dead end about 1 billion years from our time right now in a place called Zeta Reticuli. By the way, what I'm giving you now is the best synopsis of this stuff you'll ever get, probably. I'm not saying that to ego myself. It's just you'll have to Richard Dolan and thousands of other people doing all this research, Linda Moulton Howe. They're doing it slowly. But you can cut through all things, by the way, and just have a short synopsis. Just give me the briefing, please. And so they end up in a dead end where they can't reproduce anymore. And some of them are hateful and they go extinct. Others want to come back. God's source gives them an operation to do so. Go back to where you started this mess and abduct. Check this out. Here's the key. No one has said this yet on this planet. Yourself. Abduct yourself. That is your DNA. You can make a hybrid again of yourself. 99% of the people that are being abducted have soul contracts with themselves to allow this DNA to create a hybrid. There's a hybrid program going on. Absolutely. So those are the little gray guys. Everyone else, there are reptilians. First of all, here's the key. Are they good or bad? Are humans good or bad? Within each group of humans, there's good and bad factions. There's good reptilians, bad reptilians, depending on how you judge it, right? There's good Syrians, bad Syrians. There's good little gray guys, bad little gray guys. There's good tall whites, there's bad tall whites. There's good Arcturians and bad Arcturians. There's good Pleiadians, bad Pleiadians, you know. Everybody's enamored by the Pleiadians, but the Pleiadians did some nasty shit on this planet, which is why they still have karma with it. They played gods here. So when some of these ETs have traveled back here in time, the Anunnaki, which has its own story, the Syrians, Anunnaki is in Mesopotamia. The Syrians are in Egypt. The Lemurians, the Hindu thing, is a different race. I don't even know what to call them, actually. But all those gods, Shiva, Krishna, etc., they're a blue race. They're a blue. Their bodies are actually blue, or deep indigo in Shiva's case. But we're all one human family. The thing to remember is there's nothing xenophobic about the galaxy. There's nothing strange. It's all part of the same DNA experiment. Feel that for a moment. We are all part of the same source. Now, many of us on Earth have history on other planets. This is not our first rodeo. There's also a crew here on Earth, they call themselves light workers sometimes, but they got their own problems, that travel the galaxy and try to help planets wake up. But this is a surprise for a lot of light workers. So if any of you feel like, why did I choose to come here? I never want to come back here again. I should do a symptoms of being a disgruntled light worker. That might be good. Because this is not a normal planet. There's a bigger experiment on Earth than normal wake-up on planets around this galaxy, which is why it's so difficult and icky and sticky, and it seems very entangled. So, we are creating a new galactic model human here. This is why when we're trying to integrate 5 major influences from around the galaxy. The brown race of Australia, the Dreamtime people, I was just there. You can feel it. It's like spinning in a different way. It's didgeridoo, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, it's like spinning in a different way. The time is more loose for them, just like it was for the Mayans. The Mayans are master time travelers. So we're all waking up to this on Earth now again. There's going to be some gnashing of teeth and wailing and screaming and fear-mongering to keep the cattle, the sheeple, under control. But it's not going to be able to happen. The rising of the tide of the liquid waters of awakening, the Holy Spirit, the Kundalini, the age of Aquarius, if you will, has to happen. Because it takes about 63 million years for the galaxy to make a full revolution, re-evolution. Spins around, might be 60, somewhere like that, 63, 65 million years. So there are different sectors of the galaxy. Imagine a rainbow, but a color chart that is in a circle, like the center, and then you have red is one ray, and it's spinning around, a whole bunch of different colors. These are energy fields. This is part of the evolution or the experience. See, there's no good or bad in the galaxy. It's just experience. It's just souls experiencing. And so we're literally entering a different frequency spectrum into the galaxy. That's all the Mayans talked about, the inception December 12, 2012. So we're going to start reawakening to the fact that there's star people. We are star people. We travel to different stars. That movie that just came out that got hammered, Jupiter Ascending, is a pretty good depiction of some of the evil shenanigans of harvesting souls off of planets. It's actually done very well. It's accurate. They harvest soul energy so they can bathe in it and rejuvenate themselves unnaturally. You understand? So there are some of the galactic humans that are much more powerful than us, that have master of technology. But let's pick the Anunnaki. I'm throwing a lot out here at once. If you re-listen to this, just Google each thing if you're not familiar with it. The Anunnaki, where the goddess Iana comes from, and Anu is the father god there. Jehovah was just a little officer for their army, and he got so enamored of earth women that he started having sex with them and creating babies. Well, as soon as you do that on the planet, you create hordes. It's just universal law. If you create babies, you have stuff to do with the babies. You got to caretake them for a while. So he did that, and so he got left behind. Why do you think all the Christians are obsessed with not being left behind? Because their God, Jehovah, got left behind on this planet. And then he played God here, but he had to sustain himself because he couldn't really breathe his atmosphere. So he started to have human sacrifice and blood sacrifice, which is why they're obsessed with that stuff. That's why Abraham was asked to bring his 11-year-old prepubescent, pure little soul energy boy up to an altar and possibly sacrifice. They actually did stuff like that. I'm telling a lot, I know. But so the Anunnaki are not necessarily bad. Their officer, Jehovah, he's just an officer in their army. He's not a god. Yet he has managed to usurp what Jesus tried to do. Jesus tried to come and break that stranglehold, the Old Testament, get rid of it. But yet it's crept back in. It's just how it works. But in a sense, Jehovah's not bad either. He's just playing out a role for human beings, because we're addicted to giving our power away. We're addicted to creating gods, whether it's Aztecs creating their false black entities underground. Viracocha is healthy. Quetzalcoatl is the Jesus Christ figure, but the other gods that show up are not. They're feeders. So they start doing human sacrifice in Mexico City. Thousands of people cut them open, pull their heart out, let the blood run down the steps. Watch Mel Gibson's movie Apocalypto if you want a graphic look at what we actually did. So whether it's Jehovah doing that or the Aztecs doing it to their gods, it's equally feeding the blood life force into these other ethers. There's a vampire feeding energy, cannibalistic vampire gods. So this is the thing that the humans are having to wake up from. And in the big picture, let me just finish. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. But you're going to have to get out from under this. And the way you do that is you start reclaiming your own power. We are so powerful. Each human being is a god, potential god. Jesus at one point starts not censoring stuff, and he looks at everybody with soft eyes and says, don't you know? Don't you know that you're gods? Don't you know that you're God? These things that I'm doing, you're going to do too. You got to do this. Follow me. I'm the way, the truth. I'm going there. I'm going to go ascend so I can work more efficiently. But you have to do this yourself. Do your own, pick up your own cross. He's meaning clean your own body out. Clean your own emotions out. Get rid of that stuff. But as long as we don't reclaim our own power, then our power goes outside us, and then you have these goes to Las Vegas gambling because we're refusing to allow in our own abundance. The money goes somewhere else. It's the same with spiritual energy.